Welcome to January 12th, 2022, this Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life. Check out Chugwater Chili's green seasoning. Until now, making a green chili dish required having a lot of fresh green chilies around. Well, you don't need that anymore. Now you can easily whip up a green chili dish in no time at all. Chugwater green chili seasoning is an easy way to use a blend of spices designed to simplify your meals. Create a delicious green chili in minutes. Get yours today with discount code CHUGWATERDON for 20% off. Chugwater Chili, the spice of Western life. Well, fair weather is going to continue here for another 48 hours. Pretty good weather, really. It'll be mild, mix of high clouds, sun, and fair weather through Thursday. Really just kind of going through the motions over the next 48 hours. We've got a system on Friday coming with a brief shot of colder snow and wintry weather. Going to be a little bit more like January on Friday. This is not going to be a major system, but a little snow will fall on the Rockies and some of the plains. Fair and cool weather will dominate through the weekend. So this will be a good weekend to go skiing, snowmobiling, get outdoors if you need to travel. We just don't see much weather. Still looks colder beyond next weekend. As we take a look at the long-term forecast, we really don't see much weather this weekend. We really don't see much weather next week either. But by a week from this weekend and into the last days of January and early February, things could get really, really interesting across the whole United States. Today's weather pattern featuring the high pressure ridge over the Great Basin, building in very nicely. Here's the low that's going to be coming on up, slipping up into here and then heading southeast and becoming a Clipper system as we head into Friday. But for today and Thursday, it's high pressure and milder Pacific air that will dominate. Now here we are on Friday. We got an upper low over the western Dakotas sliding southeast into the region. Now for you folks who are from the Midwest or the Great Lakes who are lived there for a while, this is what you call an Alberta Clipper, a system that comes up out of Alberta, heads southeast, and works its way through the Great Lakes and Midwest. This Clipper pattern may repeat itself next week, and these Clipper patterns tend to get the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes and eventually the Northeast into some wintry weather, and that's exactly what's going to happen. By Saturday morning, the system slips down into southwest Kansas before heading this way. The end result is this. For mainly Thursday night and Friday, this is what the snowfall forecast looks like for our region. You can see the mountain ranges and areas adjacent to the mountains are going to get some snow showers and flurries. But you're going to see the more consistent snow with this Clipper system more off to the east. But there is going to be a little winter Thursday night and Friday across the interior west with this system, mainly in the mountains and east of the divide. As you can see, west of the divide, nothing there. This is where the snow will be more consistent. So if anybody's got to travel through the Dakotas, eastern Nebraska, along I-80 in Nebraska, into Iowa, northern Missouri, you can see this pretty decent shield of snow that's going to be coming through the region. And that system is going to scoot to the east and cause some bigger problems later. Now this is for Sunday night and Monday. Here's the same system is going to go into the mid-Atlantic. This low coming in behind it is going to help intensify it, and what you're going to have by early next week is a potential big storm in the northeastern United States and maybe along the seaboard. This is one of these situations where the rain-snow line could either be in the metro areas getting rain, inland snow, or vice versa. So you're going to hear about this storm late this weekend and early next week on the news. La Nina phases 1 and phases 2 continue to be highlighted this season. We're kind of in a La Nina phase 1 right now, but phase 2 is coming in about a week to 10 days. This is by next Friday afternoon. High pressure starts to establish itself again along the west coast, nosing up into the Gulf of Alaska, which in turn makes the jet stream want to take a dip. So by late next week, we return to some colder northwest flow. This is what happens. This is by Friday. This is by next Saturday night into Sunday. Notice the big change here. High pressure grows and expands further into Alaska. This vortex of cold air, the Hudson Bay vortex, expands to the south. Actually, it drifts to the southwest. So what this does is this forces Arctic air out of Canada into the northern plains, into areas along and east of the divide, and spilling into the southern plains. So we still see this. Now the big factor in who gets the coldest air in these Arctic outbreaks really has to do with this western ridge and where the western ridge decides to set up. If it stays over the water, the Arctic air will get to the continental divide and maybe west of the divide and points east. If the ridge goes a little bit more east, the Arctic air goes more east, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But if this particular model, the European model, is correct by next weekend, you can see the door to Canada and the Arctic goes wide open. And the cold air gets all the way to the Gulf Coast. It does get into the central and northern Rockies. By next weekend, it could be a lot colder, and there's going to be at least a little bit of snow with that Arctic air as it spills south. So what I wanted to do is to show you an idealized situation of where the Arctic air could end up. Right now, some of the modeling, especially the European model, by next weekend, wants the high pressure ridge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an axis of high pressure, just a straight line here. If that happens, then the jet stream will do this, take a dip all the way into the region like this. However, if the high pressure axis forms here, which some of the modeling suggests, then the high pressure axis will be further east, which means the Arctic air will be further east, more directed towards the Great Lakes and New England, as opposed to further west over here. So both scenarios are possible. Will the ridge build here, or will the ridge build here? If it takes an eastern track, the worst of the Arctic air stays out of the Rockies. We kind of get clipped by it. If this solution, this ridge axis, forms here, then the Arctic air will get further penetration into the Rockies, further penetration to the Gulf Coast and the southern plains, which is what happened in February of last year. So this is where this computer model, the European model, wants that axis to be over the Gulf of Alaska and off the coast of British Columbia. So we'll continue to watch it for you. This is something very far away, but the trend is still showing up, and we'll keep an eye on it for you in the coming days. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.